Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, don't do unboxings, but we might do a few playthroughs in the new year if you behave yourselves. But today we are going to be continuing our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. This is numbers 70 down to 61. Are you bored at your fucking head yet? Because I bloody well am. But fear not, because further we progress down this list, the better the games will be. And the longer your millennial attention span will become. Yeah, I know it's a bit of an endurance test at the moment, but believe me, this will become less and less of an issue further into this list we get. So what are we waiting for? Let's just stop fucking about and get on with it, right? So remember, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel with the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this.
Bollocks. Bollocks.
So number 70 on this list is another game by one of our favourite designers, Paolo Mori. This is a game called Ethnos, right? In this game, you will be trying to collect different sets of cards. These will be different factions, or if you like, ethnicities. And on your turn, you'll be able to either take some cards, or you'll be able to put some cards in front of you to trigger different in-game effects, yeah? Each faction has their own special abilities. So, for instance, the merfolk will do something different than, like, the ugly old trolls, you know what I mean? Reminds me of a Saturday night down Palmerston Road. And there's a little bit of area control sort of shit going on. So it's like set collection, colours and suits, and an area control thing, and points and all that sort of thing, and the usual Paolo Mori thing where you'll be getting bonuses for stuff that you do, right? Ethnos is one of the most simple games ever created, a bit like a lot of other Paolo Mori games. And it's a real shame that he never really bothered to create any expansions for this. There was a Fairies expansion, but it was like a Board Game Geek only promo thing that it was a bit of a pain in the ass to get hold of, yeah? This game's just been reprinted. I'm not going to buy that because pretty sure that there's anthropomorphic animals in it, right? But we're not counting the merfolk in the first edition. But we already own Ethnos, and that's good enough for us, yeah? So, new edition, kiss my sweaty bumhole.
Bollocks.
Number 69 on this list, and a fitting game for number 69 is Scythe by Stone Meyer Games, yeah? Scythe is an action selection game, yeah? You'll be putting this little pawn on a board, but you can't put it on the action that you took in the previous round, unless it's the first round, of course. You haven't taken a fucking action, have you, you thick fuck? You will be expanding your influence on the main board. You'll be producing resources, trading them in to take other actions that will empower you to get some mechs on the board, hopefully take control of the factory and get points through a little love art and a little eagle thing that looks like a Nazi symbol. But it's not, apparently. Scythe was a revelation when it was first released fucking 10 years ago. Can you fucking believe it? It was a game that revolutionized the Kickstarter experience. It was a superb design. It looked the dog's bollocks with that fantastic artwork, and it continued to be supported by James Stigmar right up until a few years ago, yeah? So yeah, Scythe, one of the greatest games ever made, and it's just a shame Stonemaier Games catalogue has become a little bit stale, yeah? Sort your fucking shit out, mate, right?
Bollocks.
68 is a dexterity game that we discovered in the corner of the UK Games Expo a couple of years ago. This is a game called Finger Golf, yeah? Finger Golf is exactly that. You're going to put a little plastic golf club on your fucking finger. Not that finger, this finger, unless you like shoving that finger into holes. And you will be doing exactly like you would in golf. You will be trying to cut or slice the ball to make the ball curve and get it into the hole with the least amount of shots possible, right? The basic finger golf is very, very basic. Get a couple of clubs and a putter. But if you went for the super duper version, you can get all this shit on their website, yeah? You get a grass mat, and it's fantastic the way that this game makes you feel like you are actually improving your skills when you play it, yeah? You need to practice this game to get good at it, yeah? And when you do pull off that killer shot, the one that you really, really wanted to do, it becomes a really, really addictive experience. It's one of the best dexterity games we've ever played. And I just thank the Lord that after I had my burrito, I just managed to walk around and catch Finger Golf lurking in the corner of the expo, yeah? Because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have known it existed, and it wouldn't be on this list, right?
Bollocks.
67 on this list is another Stonemaier Games game. It is probably the only other Stonemaier Games game that is really, really top 100-y sort of thing. Well, I don't know, hang on. No, it probably is, yeah. It's a game called Viticulture. This is a game about making wine, yeah? You will be moving from spring to winter, encountering summer and autumn, of course, yeah. You'll be growing your grapes on your vine. You'll be harvesting them, turning them into wine, and flogging them to rich fucking bastards that have got more money than sense, yeah. This game's taken a few turns to get it to where it is. There was obviously the original viticulture, and then there was a Tuscany expansion, then there was the Essentials edition, Essential Tuscany's edition, and it's morphed into a complete package, yeah. It's one of our favourite worker placement games of all time, and this harks back to a time when Stonemaier Games couldn't do any wrong. They were producing banger after banger. They were at the top of their game. And like I said previously, a couple of minutes ago, in case you pea-sized brain morons have forgotten, it's just a shame that they are doing reboots and relying on Wingspan, doing different types of things to do with that game. And all of the creativity and innovative ideas seem to have fallen by the wayside. I know people are going to say that Vantage is an innovative idea, but we played it enough to realise it's literally just a really weak game book using cards, yeah. But anyway, viticulture on number 67.
Bollocks.
Number 66 on this list is a game that has recently been reprinted after about 20 years. It's a game called Magical Athlete. We played the original version all those years ago when it looked complete and utter dog shit, right? And it's been reprinted in a new version where the art isn't really to my taste, but it's infinitely better than it used to be, yeah? In Magical Athlete, you'll be taking on the role of a wacky, sort of, well, basically cartoon character, right? Each one of these cartoon characters will operate in a different way, and essentially, it's a roll and move game. You'll just be rolling a die and moving that number of spaces forward, activating your character if you can, yeah? Might be the case that you might be able to move 6 spaces regardless of the die roll, or you might end up being so fucking fat that you block all of the pathways, or you might end up causing people that go past you to trip up, yeah? Magical Athlete is chaos in a box. It really doesn't have the right to work as well as it does, but obviously it does. Otherwise it wouldn't be on this fucking list, would it?
Bollocks.
Number 66 on this list is a game by Stefan Feld, the bald German geezer with glasses. This is Castles of Burgundy, right? In this game, you will be rolling a couple of dice, and then depending on what you roll, you'll be able to take different actions, maybe on your player board, maybe on the main board, taking resources, building different buildings, maybe rearing a couple of sheep, you know what I mean, Welsh people, all the while trying to get as many points as you can. That's going to win you the game, right? Castles of Burgundy is a masterpiece of design, yeah. It cost us 15 quid to buy the dirty, smelly version when it first came out, and it had a really exotic reprint from Awakened Realms of a couple of years ago where you've got like acrylic tiles and building miniatures and all that. I was tempted. I don't know, maybe I'm still tempted, because Castles Burgundy is one of them games that you could play for the rest of your life and never really experience everything that it has to offer. It is that good.
Bollocks.
Did I say 66 last time? I think it was 65. So that makes this number 64. I might be mistaken, but I am fucking stupid. Number 64 on this list is a game that is credited as ushering in the golden age of board games that has now ceased to exist, in my opinion, but more on that in my New Year rant here. This is a game called Catan, or the Settlers of Catan, as we still call it, right? In this game, you'll be rolling a couple of dice. You'll be getting resources based on where your settlements are on the board, and you'll be using these resources to build buildings, build roads that will give you victory points that will let you win the game, yeah? But you've got to be careful that if you roll a 7, you don't have too many resources, because the robber's going to fucking nick them, right? Catan is without doubt one of the greatest games of all time, yeah? It's introduced so many people to games. There's a lot of fucking Catan snobs out there these days that sort of try and compare this with Monopoly, right? Saying this isn't a real game, it's too luck-based, it's bullshit. Well, obviously they don't know anything about statistics, they don't know anything about bell curves, because they're bell ends. But yeah, if you didn't have Catan, then you wouldn't have the unification of American games and European games, and it really did usher in the globalization of the board game industry, which may or may not have been a good or bad thing, I don't know. So yeah, Catan on number 64, I think.
Bollocks.
Number 63 on this list is another game by the venerable eco-activist Eric M. Lang. This is a game called Blood Rage. This is a Viking theme game where you'll be taking on a Viking clan and you will be attempting to exert your influence in different regions based on Norse mythology, right? You'll be trying to beat each other up. You'll be trying to expand your technological capabilities, and you might even summon the odd monster, right? This is part of the unofficial trilogy, which consists of this one, Rise and Sun, and a game called Onk, right? We haven't played Onk, but we played Rise and Sun. I think that was number 90 on this list, yeah. This game is still fantastic, yeah. It's a compelling experience, and whilst it's fallen down the list somewhat over the years, yeah, you can't get away from the fact that Blood Rage is still a game that lasts for just the right amount of time, gives you just enough turns to enact your strategy, and the game is always close. And of course, it comes with those awesome fucking miniatures just to give you the boner that you've always craved but never been able to get it up.
Bollocks.
So number 71 on this list is a game about a book that I've never fucking read, and I will probably never read it. It's a game called Pillars of the Earth. This is a game based on Ken Follett's book, Pillars of the Earth. Like I said, I've never read it. I've got no inkling to read it, but the game is absolutely fucking awesome, yeah. This game is a worker placement game, yeah. You'll be putting your workers out on the board to take actions, right? There'll be this, I suppose it's like a mini auction type thing, yeah. You'll be bidding on when you are going to be going in turn order, I suppose. And then you'll activate all of the actions in number order, starting with number 1, going all the way down to like something like 20 or whatever it was. So yeah, you'll be able to employ different tradespeople to help you build the church, right? You'll be getting resources that will help you do stuff, you know, the usual Euro fare. But it's one of them games that came around during the middle of the golden age of board games, right? When Euro games were at their peak. This went out of print fucking ages, yeah. People were scrambling around paying stupid money to get hold of it. And then suddenly, out of the blue, it got reprinted and you could find a copy on eBay for like £3 or something stupid like that. But they never reprinted the expansion, which is a fucking criminal offence in my opinion. Yeah, Pillars of the Earth, don't need to read the book, I don't think, but you do need to play the game because it's one of the greatest Euro games that we have ever played, yeah.
Bollocks.
Number 61 on this list is a game that is effectively Left 4 Dead, the board game, yeah? This is a game called Carnival Zombie. Carnival Zombie is a tower defense type game in the day phase. You will be trying to reinforce your barricades in preparation to fend off the hordes of zombies that are going to attack you in the night phase, yeah? Further to this, you will be plotting your way through Venice to get to the final round where you might have to get on a boat and try and paddle away from the zombies, or you might get on an airship or whatever. Okay, the translation of the rules does sort of suck. It's an Italian game and the rules don't come across that well, but they did make a second edition, which I do believe was relatively similar. There were some miniatures instead of cubes, but we don't need that. I like my zombie cubes, yeah. And Carnival Zombie is a fantastic tower defense game that you should definitely play for the inevitable zombie apocalypse, yeah? Unless you're a fucking zombie already, which you probably are. So that concludes the 4th part of this 10-part series of our top 100 board games of all time. Do you agree with our list? Are you going to be one of those twats in the comments getting angry because your favourite wankfest game hasn't appeared yet? Or you think that maybe Buffy the Vampire Slayer isn't as good as Star Wars Rebellion? Yeah, you know who you are, you fuck. So yeah, leave a comment down below, yeah? I don't care if you're rude to me because I literally couldn't give a fuck about your opinion. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. If you're not new here, go to a Christmas market and suck on a knockburst. We'll see you next time.